the spawn room to make the enemy have to destroy it before they could even get to you.
Yeah, so one of the big things we preached was getting vehicles on points, and that really paid off in a lot of bases, especially Barrack Electrical Station. That paid off big time down there because we put a bunch of Sunderers down there. And then also we had Ecos. Ecos Heroes, probably the MVP, in my opinion, for Emerald. They were on Crux headquarters with Harassers and Sunderers for about 45 minutes or longer. And they kept that base ticking down. They kept that, like a couple of Miller guys tied up there. But in general, like, it was just, that entire area was just not contestable because of Ecos' work. And they did fantastic down there with their Harassers. So, they did really well.
We did catch some of that on the stream, so perhaps they'll go back and look at the recorded thing and check it out. But it was pretty effective. We didn't see Miller try any of that. It was always a case of, the harassers on the point, and they weren't the key or dominant element. It was just they bought time. They made it a nuisance and they were a multiplier, just forcing Miller to pull those extra few people to kind of deal with it. So they were more spread than elsewhere.
Something else I noticed from Emerald that kind of surprised me, when you take NC, which I know you guys had to take the remaining faction choices, but when you take NC, you would think that scat maxes would be kind of preached as when you get in close, that's what you want to pull. A lot of your platoons I didn't see had any max support at all. Was that something that they just wanted more flexibility, or did you not feel that the scat max was worthwhile? I saw multiple times dropping on tech plants with that, and even other bases.
It actually slows you down to pick up maxes into galaxies and stuff. So we mostly preach like heavy assault play, just because it's just slower to grab maxes and stuff. Like, we maxed up a few times. I heard calls for maxes, and we did some counter crashes in certain places, but it wasn't, when you're redeploying as fast as we were and moving as fast as we were across the map, you just get used to playing heavy.
Are there any other questions, Farah, that you have?
I know that was all. We did kind of get a good view of what was going on. We felt that Miller perhaps didn't make as good use of vehicles. Like the air control, at least from what we saw. We know that there was air control for both teams in certain bases, but it just felt that today Emerald had air control and they used it to kill off any form of a Miller attack on the Sunderers. And then critically, when Emerald was losing a base, they would have Sunderers. Sorry, when I say that Emerald owned a base that Miller was attacking, that Emerald would have a Sunderer backup outside, so that if they lost the base, which happened once or twice, they could then spawn in said Sunderers and then reapply pressure and get the base back. Whereas Miller, on the other hand, didn't. Was that like a conscious thing, or is that tactics play, or is that just the meta you think for Emerald is different from Miller? Anyone want to mention that? Okay, never mind. I was just curious if, like, the meta on Emerald is that if you're losing a base, pull Sunderers. It doesn't matter if we can spawn from our spawn room, we can also spawn from our Sunderers.
It's not just if you're losing the base that you pull a Sunder. Defensive Sunderers are really strong, especially if you put them like right next to the point. At a lot of these bases, especially on Amrish, there's a lot of bases where you can just deploy
on the point.
Sunder, yeah, like literally on top of the point. So that, I mean, we just do that.
There are some doubts over your leadership, Roy, that you were unable to get 70 points. What have you got to say to your haters?
Scoreboard. Screw you guys.
Okay.
Beat our tiebreaker, come on.
And Miller, it's an all-European affair 2 weeks from now against Cobalt in your next upcoming game. And how do you feel about that, going against Cobalt and your fellow Europeans? Do you think we can get this, we can learn from today, and maybe give it to Cobalt? And what do you think?
I think the next Force Commander will not make a lot of mistakes I made today. There were quite a few. So, yeah, Miller can only learn from this. And I think they will be stronger next time.
And I guess for Roy, it's Team 2 Emerald next time, but they'll be fighting against Connery. How do you think that's going to go? Connery and Hossin.
Honest opinion, Emerald undefeated.
Undefeated all the way, including championship match. That's what you think?
Easy peasy.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, guys. We look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks' time for our round 3. And any last parting words between you guys before we head off?
It was a good game. I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. Thanks for showing up, Miller, playing.
Well played. Good game.
Okay. Best luck. Thanks very much. We'll see you guys in a couple of weeks. Well, Reds, that's that.
Well, I mean, it is going to be complicated figuring out who gets into the championship. Not so much for Emerald. Emerald has set itself very, very good situation.
It's probably now. I need to look at the details here. Miller's on 2 losses, which means they can't realistically get through, and Emerald's on 2 wins, which means it's unlikely that they won't get a first or second place spot. So the next time it's really going to come down to Cobalt needs to beat Miller to guarantee a second place placement because they beat Connery. So Connery could beat Emerald in 2 weeks' time, but the fact is, if Cobalt wins, then it's going to come down to points and whatnot. So realistically, it's down to Cobalt and Connery, and even then, Miller could theoretically win, and Emerald could theoretically win, and then it gets really confusing in calculating. So we'll have those details and stats up and whatnot. We'll have it all ready to kind of go over. It kind of feels like an NFL running for the playoffs type scenario. Right, so we got some last kind of information for us. Screen. So coming up, next round is Hossen 288 versus 288. This will be on the larger lanes, more maps, more chaotic, more spread out. So we'll have to see who kind of adapts to the conditions, the undergrowth and whatnot. Our first match is Emerald versus Connery, which is on October the 25th. Standing at the starter time of 1930 UTC. That'll be an all-American affair. The next day, on October the 26th, the Sunday, it will be an all-European affair, and that'll be Miller versus Cobalt. Now, there's an important thing to note here, guys. The Miller versus Cobalt is an all-European affair, and the European start time will not change from what it was today. It will still happen at 6:30 UK time and 7:30 Europe time. However, for American viewers, because of daylight savings changing in Europe, it is actually an hour later. So the game will start an hour later for West Coast, East Coast. So just be aware of that if you when you want to turn up and watch. And I think that's everything. I've got a few other shout outs. I'm supposed to mention that on October the 18th at 8 o'clock UTC, there will be a public pickup on the Jaeger server. So they're going to be using Jaeger to do a public pickup where you turn up and you play in just a random team. You're assigned a team, and it's 2 teams playing against each other, and you're playing usually over base. It's usually small scale stuff over one base. It's not necessarily PAL or anything else. It's just kind of fun tournament playing against multiple people from other servers you wouldn't normally get to play with. If you're interested in taking part in the public pickup, then details are on our Server Smash subreddit and probably the PlanetSideBattles.org website. You can go there, you can find the thread that's regarding the public pickup, and then you can just express your interest there or find out what's going on. And I think that is everything, Redlin. There's one other thing.
One last, yeah.
Go ahead.
Your competitive teams.
Yes, we are looking at. I said this yesterday. Today, on the end of November, so what's going to basically happen timeline-wise is on November the 8th, we're going to have our championship match, okay? And then 2 weeks after that, there's probably going to be a game involving Briggs. We don't know necessarily who their competition is. We don't really want to do much into this, but Briggs will probably play the winner of the tournament. So if it's Emerald, they'll play Emerald. If it's Connery wins the tournament, the championship thing, then we'll probably have them play the second place team because they've already placed Connery. Something like that. So anyway, the point is that's in the middle of November, and then at the end of November, we're talking like the 28th, 29th, I think, if the dates are right. We will have a sort of NFL outfit smash. Now, I've already got one team leader. I think it's Ender from Das Anfall. He's forming a team for us. And we're looking for a second person to field a second team in a demonstration match. And this competitive, more competitive thing is basically, take today for example. There may be some players that played for Miller who are not happy who they played with or thought, so half of our team wasn't that great. Well, if you feel that, come to me, say you can form a team, and it can be any outfit from any server and any number of people from said outfit, and you can form a competitive team for about 240 people. That's what we're aiming for, so you can fight across the entire continent. And then it's basically your competitive fielded team from everyone in the entire player base of Planetside. Could be Briggs right through to Miller, whoever you want to play with, and you can make a team of 240, and then we'll have a showcase match at the end of November. So you've got yourself, about 5 weeks, 6 weeks to set up, Redland?
And the important part here is this is not replacing Server Smash. Server Smash is what it is. It's designed, you are fighting for your server. Your server comes with all of its outfits, and it fights another server. Planetside Battles was created specifically to add even more events for the community to participate in, and this is one of our test events, finding out if this is possible. Some people have said they really want to do this. We're going to find out. Can we actually get 2 teams, 4 teams,
exactly,
things like that.
So we're looking, is there interest in a sort of pre-made team competitive Server Smash-esque style? It's the same format, same territory control, still fighting over a continent, but it's kind of with pre-made teams. It's not really even outfit smash because it's multiple outfits or just multiple teams formatted by kind of a team leader. So we don't necessarily have a name for it yet, but basically that's what we're looking for. I mean, there are other things that Planetside Battle do. We do the public pickups that we mentioned. We're doing an outfit versus outfit type fighting. That's similar-esque, I guess you could think, to Comclash, but not quite. The PAL guys are in a sort of experimental time with us, so they're under a banner for a little while. They may or may not do something. And there may be a faction smash in the future where you play for your faction, so that could be basically people from multiple servers, all TR from all servers playing for TR. There is talk of a much larger World Cup Guinness Book Records thing. That is only in the talks. That is not happening. We're just saying we're in talks, we're thinking about it, but there's no confirmation there. So my point is that Planetside Battles is doing a lot of things, and we love your support, and this is just one particular thing that we're maybe doing, which is the NFL Smash type thing. This thing has definitely happened. Other ones are on the boards. We have lots of crazy ideas, but ultimately it needs your support, your backing, and SOE's backing. So if you're interested in forming a team, get in contact with me, because I'm still looking for a second Force lead to lead the second kind of outfit team Smash thing for the end of November. I think that's everything, Redland, right? Do we have any final words before we head off?
I don't believe so. We're going to have to spend some time thinking about all the different ways that this championship can come out, because it got a little bit more complicated right now.
Yes. So, well, thanks for watching, guys. We're going to head off. We will be back in 2 weeks' time. Next week, like I said, is the public pickup on a Saturday, which is the October the 18th at 8 o'clock UTC. And then 2 weeks from today, 2 weeks from yesterday, we'll have Emerald versus Connery in our round 3 on Hossen. So, thank you very much for watching, guys. Good night, good morning, wherever you are in the world, and we'll see you in 2 weeks' time.